is the best method for organizing all of your ideas, notes, schedules, everything when you're trying to run your own business? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about my very specific notebook process so that you can learn what has helped me, and hopefully it'll help as you organize your creative business too. Hi, I'm MK Williams. I'm an author and independent publisher, and I'm here to share all my insights on all things self-publishing and being a creative entrepreneur with you. Before I get started today, don't forget to subscribe so that you can see more videos that I put out every week on self-publishing and how to be a career author. So today I'm going to talk about my processes of how I keep track of all the books and all the projects and all the ideas that I'm working on. So I'm a featured regular guest on the Choosify podcast. I'm an author. I'm an independent publisher. I have a lot going on. I use Asana as my task management software to track the big picture projects and the small projects and all the tasks and assign myself deadlines. But I still make good use of just good old-fashioned pen and paper notebooks for my day-to-day processes. I've been asked by people if this is redundant, and I'm sure it actually is. And if I just put every single thing into Asana, I would not be using as much paper and all of that. But there are some good micro and macro processes that I keep offline because it does help to just put pen to paper and write things out. So I'm going to go over each of my notebooks that I keep and what they're for and how I use that because I think it could help you as a creative entrepreneur, whether you're an author or you have some other creative endeavor, to help you keep a better way to keep track of everything that you're working on. So my first one is my big notebook, my full-size notebook. This is for big picture, big projects, and learning. So at the beginning of 2019, when I started treating my business like a business and not a hobby, I started to do weekly check-ins with my husband. And this was just to level set and say, what were the 5 things I wanted to achieve this past week? Did I achieve them? What came up? What are the 5 things I want to achieve next week? So it helped to keep me really focused, especially when I didn't have as much time when I was still working a full-time job. I had to decide, okay, what's the priority for this week? Other things come up? All right, we can discuss it at next week's business review to see if that's a good idea. So all of those meeting notes are in here. And then any of my big picture things. So as I'm mapping out everything for Author Your Ambition, as I've been working, taking notes on the podcast that I am on regularly, and then also the ones where I'm a guest on somebody else's podcast, all those notes go in here. Last year I had a masterclass subscription, so my course notes are in here. So big picture, big items, big notebook. So that's what this one is for, and you'll see my little tabs because I'm super organized. Okay, so the next one is a notebook specifically for agendas and project call notes. So this one is specific for the agenda. So if I have a meeting coming up, whether it's a meeting with myself or a meeting with somebody else, I'm always going to write down what I want to accomplish on that call. So whether it's a full agenda or just like bullet points of like, don't forget to talk to them about this and this, because we're actually taking time to have a conversation. And then I also use this for the notes from that call, right? Because one thing could be on the agenda and then the conversation turns somewhere else. It gives me a good things to follow up on. So as you see, I have tabs. These are things that I need to go back and check on from a larger picture conversation to make sure I'm not losing sight of it. For me, I am a learner where if I hear something and I write it down, I'm going to remember it, I'm going to learn it. So writing down all my notes from calls is super important to me. This is also where I put like a daily agenda. So maybe I don't have any meetings that day. I have all my tasks in Asana, small picture tasks, but that's all business related. So if I have, all right, I'm going to meet a client for coffee, I am going to go to yoga, I'm going to do laundry, and then I have all my other work tasks also on here, so I don't lose sight of all the personal things I want to be doing too, that may not be captured in Asana the way I currently have it set up. So I always have this, and I get that joy of just crossing things off. Okay, so this one is my process and my daily checklists. So again, this is where it might be getting a little redundant, but this is where when I am going through and reviewing my clients' books and I'm doing those final checks. So whether if it's a big picture read, I'm going to write down all the chapters in the book and I'm literally going to cross them off as I get through them because that helps to remind me where I am in the process. It's a really big project to read through somebody else's book and make sure that you're giving it the attention. And in Asana, it's like read through book by this deadline. Cool. But here's where I'm going to list my notes as far as the chapter that I'm on. And then if I get interrupted mid-chapter, I can just say, you stopped on this page. Or when I'm going through and checking things, I'll say like, hey, the table of contents says that these are the pages. I literally go to the start of every chapter and I check that off. So this is where I'm able to check these fine details of, did I go through and make sure this person's name is spelled this way throughout the entire book? So these are just little daily processes, daily checklists. And then when I'm done, I rip them out, which is why this one doesn't have very many pages left. But I will be getting another one out shortly so I can make sure everything is checked off, and I check the fine details in my checklists notebook. Okay, so this covers all things about the business. So far, we've had our big picture notebook for big picture ideas, weekly business meeting with myself and my husband, and coursework. We have the next journal down that is all for agendas, making sure that things are covered properly when I am having a conversation with someone. We have my finer detail process checklist just to make sure as I'm going through books, I'm catching everything. And then we have the notebook that I recommend that every author has with them all the time. And these are from my book ideas. So this is a cheap little guy that I got in CVS, and as you can see, a bunch of things have been stuck in because if I am in my car, I actually have a separate notepad that I have right next to me. So if I pull up to a stoplight or I have to pull over and write down an idea, I can do that because this is usually in my bag. I don't want to root through my bag as I'm driving. That's not safe. But this is where I keep all of my book ideas, and then after I put those ideas into the Word document, I will mark off the page. A lot of people say, well, it's not good to double enter something, that takes more time, but I write in chicken scratch and not full thoughts, but then by the time I'm putting it in the document, it's a more fleshed out idea. So I always have this book with me. And as you can see, I have a little note here I'm covering because it's for my next book. But I always have this with me because I'm always thinking of new ideas for my own books that I'm going to be writing. Whereas, if I'm going out just to have lunch with a friend, I'm not going to bring my work notebooks because I'm not there to work, but I may think of an idea for a book and I always want to write that down and capture that. So these are my 4 notebooks. This is my process, and it keeps me organized. I don't know if that's something that might work for you, but to have a different notebook for big picture, daily processes, and then book ideas, I think that's something that could help. So that way, you know exactly where something needs to go. If you're looking at a note, you know, okay, this is from this date, it was for this call, versus, okay, if it's in this notebook, I know it's for something creative. I found that really helped me to be able to just stay organized, keep my thoughts clear. I hope this helps you a bit. Hopefully it's given you some ideas. Do you use an intricate notebook process? Do you use a notebook at all? Are you staying organized as an entrepreneur? I definitely want to know, so put that in the comments below. If you found this at all helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you're getting value from this channel and you want to be here when I make new videos. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and now you can get back to writing your book.